Nicole MizzPeach Manning, who is the manager and co-owner of Final Five with Motion Gaming. What a fantastic victory and a great game to start the series off. Just give me your thoughts real quick on your team's performance there.
We just didn't let our nerves get to us, and we stuck together. Didn't let the fact that we were down make us quit.
Fantastic. We've got a long series ahead of us, so we'll get into more gameplay, I'm sure. But I do want to talk a little bit about your involvement with esports. Talk to me about how you got started in esports in general.
Well, I was trying to be a player. I was terrible, and I got benched by my own team. So they're like, well, you should try managing. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm bad. And I approached Mike Hunterson with Motion Gaming and Project Challenger. And I started building teams. I built a team that went to LA, my first team, and didn't work out. So I started building stepping stone teams for players that were up and coming because I feel the NA scene needs more support. And so I would just build stepping stone teams and then finally decided to just go for it, I guess.
All right, well, you went for it. But what was it about this team, this squad of 5, that you felt like this was the right time to really take that plunge into the challenger scene?
Well, we weren't even expecting to do expansion. We wanted to try it, but we weren't expecting to do too much. It was actually supposed to be for next split. And they're just a great group of kids. We had an opportunity to pick up Rux, and he really surprised me. I care a lot about synergy. I care about how players are as far as work ethic and attitudes, and that's how I build my teams. I don't personally know a whole lot about strategy in games, but I've played a lot of sports before I got injured, and I know how to kind of run teams, I guess.
So you build your team around synergy, teamwork, things like that. Is it usually centered around one person, and then you build it out based on that person's personality, or are you just kind of sourcing the crowd for 5 guys who can get the job done?
Well, usually I pick a support and 80 carry because that's what I obviously know the most about, and but this time it was a top laner, and I think our bot lane was one of the last things we picked up. And so I just picked one player that had a great attitude, great mindset, and just went from there.
Now, for yourself as a manager, what would you say is the biggest hurdle when trying to, move up the ladder from, amateur to, to challenger to pro?
Well, I was a nanny for many years. Not that these are kids, but they are definitely younger than me. I'm 25, and when you're a nanny or you're babysitting, the mom comes in and says she's in charge, and it's like you don't get that respect from them immediately. You have to earn it. And when I first started out, I did struggle. Not necessarily a horrible reputation, but I had to really overcome and learn how to manage a team properly and how to gain respect of my players.
And then as a player, you've obviously witnessed the growth of a lot of players. So what would you say is the biggest hurdle that a player has to overcome in their journey towards the LCS?
It's really cutthroat with a lot of teams. You mess up one game and you're out, and they send you home. And there's nothing protecting players right now. There's no life coaches. Parents are often not involved with the players. They think, oh, video games are bad. Go back to school. And so I guess the support is so low, and you really have to fend for yourself. And as a 17-year-old, you oftentimes don't know how to read a contract, and you can only go off of the owners on what the contract actually says.
All right, let's dive back into this team. What is the dynamic like when the guys are practicing? Who's kind of playing the lead role? Who, in terms of settling arguments, is that also a moment where you have to step in, or are the guys pretty good about taking care of that themselves?
Well, we struggled to find coaching staff at first, so I was basically with little knowledge. I was kind of trying to just keep emotions down, mediate conversations, and luckily they get along very well. So there wasn't a lot of yelling or anything like that, but just keeping nerves calm and being able to kind of mediate, that was the biggest thing. That was kind of difficult because I personally don't know a whole lot, so I had to go to outside sources to go, okay, well, who's right here? So. All
right, well, a great, as you said, you didn't intend necessarily to get through the expansion tournament or this far. The intention was to join next season's challenger. So you've already kind of surpassed your goals. Have you guys, lofted them at all, or at this point, anything extra is just great?
Anything extra is just great. It's nice to meet them finally in person. Rule was on one of my first teams, the sport, so it's nice to finally see the guys and put faces. So.
All right, well, they're doing fantastic so far. One game in the books and a best of 5. Still a long series, but spirits have to be high at the moment. We are going to have to wrap this up and send it back to the guys at the desk. Oh, one more thing.
Good games to Fusion. That was a really fun match to watch.
There you have it, sportsmanship at its finest. We're going to send it right back to the guys at the desk to get us into the next game.
Thank you very